all things cannabis. This is CannabisRadio.com, a service of Cannabis Media. Stand by for another great hour of CannabisRadio.com. But first, let's get you informed with news around the world in 90 seconds.
This is USA Radio News. I'm Melody Burkett. New Speaker Paul Ryan says the House will not just pass the big Trans-Pacific trade deal without scrutiny.
They just sent the text this morning. So we have a lot of work to do to review this agreement. And we do not rubber stamp anything around here, let alone trade agreements.
In a Capitol briefing, Ryan called himself a strong supporter of free trade, but says the House will carefully consider the pact. The House and Senate can approve it or reject it, but may not make any changes to it. President Obama has argued that the deal is aimed at countering China's rising economic influence in the sprawling Asia-Pacific region. The deal is opposed by many Democrats and organized labor. The number of people applying for unemployment benefits is higher than expected. The Labor Department says it received 276,000 first-time requests. Today's number matches a 2-month high and is the largest weekly gain since late last February. This is USA Radio News, powered by westernjournalism.com. I'm Melody Burkett.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. British Prime Minister David Cameron has defended the suspension of UK flights in and out of Sharm el-Sheikh after talks in London with Egypt's president. The EU says it expects some 3 million refugees and migrants to arrive in Europe by 2017. And the U.S. Congress is starting months of debate over whether to endorse the recently agreed Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Ganjapreneur.com, your guide to the cannabis business world. Ganjapreneur.com is a comprehensive resource for cannabis professionals and entrepreneurs. Download the Ganjapreneur app on your smartphone or tablet to catch up on cannabis industry news, scroll through our daily job listings, and learn about successful cannabis companies, executives, and investors. Ganjapreneur.com, helping Ganjapreneurs grow.
Chronicling the latest cannabis industry news and headlines.
Well, with 4 states with tax and regulate and the District of Columbia.
The state of cannabis.
Oh my God, it's refreshing. We have people that generally wouldn't speak on behalf of cannabis for fear of retribution, fear of losing your practices, fear of many of those things, and find ourselves in a place that we finally can.
Bringing you fact-based news and views and keeping listeners on the pulse of what's happening in the industry today. The state of cannabis. On demand anytime, only on CannabisRadio.com. It's time to share some good news about cannabis. Good News with Nurse Heather starts now, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Get ready to hear something good about cannabis. Nurse Heather brings her eternal optimism and professional expertise to the stories of the day, discussing current topics and events, making life's lemons into sweet lemonade, and sharing a tall glass with guests, friends, and her listeners. CannabisRadio.com is happy to present Good News with Nurse Heather, the show infused with compassion and love.
From high atop Mount Soledad in beautiful San Diego, California, 100 feet above sea level. Good morning, beautiful listeners.